right, so here's the grapevine that we spur pruned. And you can see that the spur pruning kind of helps to keep this thing under control. For example, here's one of the spurs here, and here's a cluster of grapes. And you can see that those grapes are going to hang clear of the fence and will have nice unblemished fruit. At the same time, you can look down here and you can see we're getting some new side shoots that when this spur is getting old, we can cut back and make a new spur here or there. So here's another example in here. We can just come right on down the line and we can see that these spurs will hold a cluster very unobstructed, and at the same time will generate a new spur closer to the main stem. Okay, so here's another spur pruning. This is a manuka, a black manuka, and the darn thing is just too aggressive. So my hope is that this spur pruning will slow it down a little bit, similar to the ruby that we just looked at. So this is the first year we've done this, and you can see this was one of the new spurs we created. Now, being a younger plant, it's generating a lot more side growth. So maybe next year this might be our new spur, or this might be our new spur. The idea is we want to try and keep our grape production as close to the main stem as possible. So in this video, when the time is right, we'll do some thinning. The temptation might be to thin them now, but you know the frost potential is still pretty high, and the frost might thin them a little bit. Might thin them a little, and it might thin them a lot. So we're going to wait till the frost is done to thin these grapes. See here, we have all of these bunches of grapes coming in here. And at the same time, we're developing new shoots to be a spur next year. The idea again being keep it as close to the stem as possible. Now we're going to do a little bit of thinning here on this black manuka, which is spur prune. So same thing, we're going to come along here and we want our grapes about yay far apart. So, and we're going to give preference to the better clusters now that the frost is past and all that. So here's a nice cluster here. There's two of them. We're going to leave the better. Come about here. This one's good. There's a couple in here. Okay, so here we are. It's the 1st of July, and we're standing in front of these manukas, and we're tracking the progress. We've put a lot of work into them. We've pruned them, we've thinned them, and we're now looking at the benefit of all that work. Here you can see, even though we cut 80% of the clusters off, you can see that giving them space and room to hang unobstructed is resulting in some really nice clusters. So here it is, we're well into summer. It's about middle of July. We've had a little bit of cool weather. We had kind of a late spring and we've had a couple weeks of cool weather. Otherwise we would be picking these by now. So here it is. We're looking at all the benefit of pruning, thinning, all that work is paying off. You can see how spacing these clusters when we thinned, how it has paid off. This area in here is looking really good. So it's pretty much an all summer program, but it really pays off in the end when it's time to enjoy the fruit of your labor.